Talladega, the WCIparts.com 88, in the Sim500 Tender 10.
Absolutely. We've got some high banks, high speed, 2.66 miles here in Talladega Speedway. Xfinity Series action, Mike. It's going to be some exciting race.
Absolutely. And qualifying is underway, just under 5 minutes to go. Only 12 taking time, but Joe, it's Talladega. I don't think it matters if you start in the front or start in the rear here.
Yeah, absolutely. You can start in the backside and you can almost start in the pits out there, get you, I want to say, what's that, corn, a good hot dog, and get out there and come to the front. Because when we qualify, I don't want to say it doesn't mean anything, but it does. But again, like you said, you could start pretty much anywhere and bring it to the front. We're going to see that all day long.
All right, so the drivers to keep your eye out on, folks, tonight is the Contender 10 at Talladega. It's Malik Ray, Larry Pace, Kyle Tarasca, J.D. Laird, Joshua Williams, Chad Cole, Paul Nicholas Cooper, Manger O'Rourke, and Chad Cohen. Those are the drivers. Those are the 10 drivers you keep on your radios tonight, Joe. This is going to be a good one. 88 laps. It's the WCIparts.com 88. Talladega, our home track, by the way, folks. Me and Joe both from Alabama. And he said it, high banks and three wide action. I think we're going to see it all tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just to correct you on one thing, I'm from North Carolina, so I still am in the South, though. But
Joe Hudson's from Alabama. Sorry.
There you go. Yep. Absolutely. Well, you talk about being high banks and excitement. You talked about we got the, like I said, 88 laps here tonight. It's going to be awesome. And the guys in the chase, man, we saw a terrific race back in Darlington, and where Tarasca took the win there and brought it over here. But these guys tonight in the chase, well, anything can happen. The big one comes to mind, Mike.
The big one. And with that said, we've got 3 minutes left in qualifying. We're going to take our short break, bring to you the national anthem at Talladega, the Contender 10 on part of the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series. We'll be back. And we're back, and as always, Joe, lovely sight to hear the national anthem, and what better day than 9/11 today? Not really celebrating, but more than likely, more of the mourning part of that. 9/11 brings back so memories, and in fact, Joe, I seen on Facebook today that there are some people in high school that were born before 2001 that had never witnessed that. So it's just amazing how far back that went.
Yeah, and it is. I mean, I remember the day just like it was yesterday. I mean, I was at work that morning, and it was a tragic day. And thoughts and prayers to everybody there and today, and obviously also with the hurricanes going on too. We got thoughts and prayers. There's a lot of things you got to think about. It like you said, we don't want to celebrate it. Kind of a sad day, but again, everything's in the thoughts. And you're right. That just means I'm getting older, man. When you talk about guys that in high school before that time.
I know, it's just insane. And luckily, it looks like all the drivers in the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series have made their way at Talladega. So I only see one guy having a little bit of connection problems. Joey Jatina, he's down there or up there in Alabama, Talladega area. Maybe getting some rain there, but for the looks like it, the storm has moved out for most of the areas impacting the drivers tonight, and qualifying has officially ended. And Chad Coleman is going to start on this pole tonight, folks, at Talladega.
Absolutely, man. Puts it on the pole there tonight here. Huge track, huge field. Like you said, we got 26, some bad, fast boys about to tackle this high speed here tonight. It's going to be interesting.
Yes, it is. And, of course, Talladega is just one of the stops in the last three races here. We've got Dega, the Contender 10, and the next week we'll be at Michigan, the Eliminator 6, and then we go to the Championship 4 at Las Vegas, where the champion will be crowned. And coming into tonight's race, Malik Ray is leading in the points, the chase points, and Larry Pace is second, 12 points behind. So not only are these drivers, Joe, trying to finish here in the top 10 respectively from each other, but they're also trying to fight for a little points battle as well in the chase. So it could be very interesting.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. Like you say, we get Talladega. It's going to be one of them wild card style races. That's a good term to use here, because you just don't know. When we talk about the big one, we talk about the wreck, as these guys get gridded up here. Those guys in the chase have to be mindful of that, but they still got to race. I mean, you still got to finish well here or try to win either way.
Looks like 26 drivers going to take the green flag with us tonight. 12 just taking a qualifying time, which just tells me that it really doesn't necessarily matter where they qualify. These guys are obviously thinking 88 laps. We've got a long way ahead of us, a long night, and Chad Coleman will take the pole, and Milt Matisse will start on the outside of him. But still, Joe, it's a long race tonight, and
it is.
And these guys are got to be patient.
And you're right. Same, took the words out of my mouth, so to speak, on that one. You got to be patient. You got to be up here. You got to be total. The thing about it is these cars will suck up in the draft. The draft's something we'll talk about throughout the race here. We're going to see these guys be nose to tail, inches apart from each other, running 190, almost 200 mile an hour. Don't know. I think these cars can top about 200, be probably 196, 198. Cup car, we know, definitely gets up to there, but it's. I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's kind of stressful throughout the race, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. Malik Ray, by the way, will start 14th. Larry Pace will roll off 6th. Kyle Taraska going to start his machine back there.
Hey, he's back in the 23rd spot right now.
Yeah, 23rd. Yep. Of course, Laird also in the 18th spot. So just a number of drivers there, the top 4 drivers chase coming into tonight's race. Just kind of mixed all over the place. Chad Coleman is going to start this race on the pole. He comes into tonight's race 10th in points. So he is definitely on the bubble, and he's right where he wants to be in that Carolina Ford Dealer 20 machine, as he is steadying the pace at 65 miles an hour coming off the corner of the pace car. Way out front of them guys. But everybody just creeping along here, getting ready to start this thing. 88 laps, and we are green flag racing with Chad Coleman taking us to the green. Milt Matisse on the outside. Slowly but steady, huh, Joe?
Yes, they're the 65, not the 80 mile an hour pace speed.
Green flag.
As we take the green flag here, Mike, we are live Talladega here. Chase race number 2. Folks, I'm going to tell you what you're about to see here is some boys that are going to be some nerve wrecked. They're going to have to be gripped on the wheel all race long for 88 laps here, already spread out. Now, I'll ask you a question. Is that a smart thing to do? Because that draft catches up to you. They might be able to freight train right by.
Oh, yeah, and the freight train on the outside is coming by. That's the 42 machine. And brought along by Bobby Wetzel. Chad Coleman losing the lead on the first lap. Milt Matisse will take it down the backstretch. And both of those guys will clear Coleman. But looks like Wetzel's going to stay high, and that's going to put Coleman back underneath Joe. Coming off the corner, Coleman might lead this first lap after all.
Absolutely. Comes out of 4. They're side by side. 4 up top, 3 down low. Going to be a drag race to the line. Who's going to get it? I don't know. That's a photo finish almost right there between a 20 and a 42. Chad and Milt. Milt, like you said, they were side by side, inches apart. That's what we're going to see all race long.
Coleman did get the credit for leading the lap. Milt Matisse leading the outside charge here at Talladega with Bobby Wetzel behind him. Now Glenn Campbell, the Rhinestone Cowboy Folgers Camaro, joins the mix. Stacked two wide, about 4 rows deep, Joe. I love it. And there's all kind of racing in the back. Go back here with us, Pedro, to 8th spot. Jimmy Norman, Yost Reed, Nathan Bowers, Scott Formosa was nearly 3 wide a second ago down the backstretch. Man, I love it.
Absolutely. Guys back there are still, double file coming to the line this time. I call it double file all the way back. Put a blanket over the field here. Spread out here, but it's still side-by-side action. And you can feel it, man, the intensity there. And these boys out here, there's nothing you can do about it either, Mike. You're glued there. As a driver, you're just hanging on for dear life. As they're 3 wide coming out of the turn.
Oh, boy, 3 wide coming off the corner of turns 2 at Talladega. Down the backstretch, Joshua Williams in 12th spot in the middle. He's got Joey Jatina to the bottom. Formosa now settles back out. 2 wide now. Joshua Williams, one of the chase contenders coming into the ninth race. He's in 12th spot still on the outside. And, Joe, I love the outside lane here at Talladega. It kind of comes and goes, but it's real fun to hang out there.
It is. As a racer, and I've raced here many a time, Talladega and Daytona, I prefer the high line because I can see more. That's another thing is when you watch these guys out the front view, you're going to see when they're tucked up behind someone, you can't see that apron there. You can't see going into the turn, and it's very dicey there. So the outside lane, you can see a lot more as they are, you can go way high too. 3 wide now coming down the backstretch.
Now, 3 wide, 21 is Brandon Chaburko. He is out, by the way, of the championship contention. Strong contender, though, all the way up until last week at Darlington, basically taking himself out of it. But he's up here in 9th spot, looking for a 3 wide push out of 4 here. Bowers to the high side. The 00 machine is Larry Pace. And we're back to 3 wide as Chaburko. Boy, look at the move by Brandon Chaburko through the field to the front. 3 wide.
Yes, he is. A 3 wide double set coming past the line of turn 1, and he is trying to take that lead as they're almost looking 4 wide. These guys are very, very dicey up front right now. The 3 wide triple set coming down the backstretch. Wow, can you feel that, Mike? Awesome.
Awesome. Best of the best here at the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series. As you mentioned, Joe, chase number 2 is the Contender 10 at Talladega. Back it up and go home if you don't get in the top 10 in this one, baby.
Absolutely, and getting the top 10 could be inches. And when we say inches, it could mean inches coming across the line. Because right now they are double file, 3 sets back, but right there they are triple set, side by side, coming to the line. And when we say inches, look at that. Back there, they're within like a feet of one another coming across the line. So that could mean you being from 10th to being like 12th or 13th.
Going in car with the 51 machine of Justin Fuller. Let's get an idea of what it's like to be inside the cockpit. 3 wide in front of him. Oh, man. He's got the Budweiser machine in front of him. That's going to be Jose Gonzalez. And in front of Jose is Brian Morris Cook as they are rocketing at nearly 200 miles an hour. 4 wide in 3.
Yeah, 4 wide coming in 3 right now. Boy, that's a nice move early on in the race, but they made it stick coming through there. Coming out of the backstretch, they are still stacked up side by side. This is great action going on so far, and these boys don't look like they're going to settle down anytime soon.
Man, 4 wide. Love it. And race leader still continues to be Chad Coleman. He's got Brian Morris Cook in the Interstate Batteries machine on the outside of him. Of course, that's Larry Pace's 00 machine pushing the leader, Coleman, as he gets about a car length to the lead up there. Man.
Wow.
It's something else, ain't it, Joe?
It is. I mean, you know, you're talking about it, you feel it up there. But as a driver, I'm glad I'm up here in the booth. I've raced these races many a times before, but watching these guys out here, it is nerve-wracking to do that lap after lap after lap. Again, we can't say it enough. As they go 3 wide for the lead up front, here they coming to the line this time by.
Oh, boy, 3 wide. Make that 4 wide, Joe, with the line at Talladega for second spot nearly. Brandon Traburco going to shift the field a little bit as they still 3 wide into turns 1. That's the meat hot dog between the brothers. Brian Morris Cook in that 63 car as they'll fan back out to 2 wide. Man, it's getting dicey. Oh! Contact with Brian Morris Cook and Glenn Campbell.
Yeah, a little bumping up there in front. You got that 26. He got hung out the drive on the high side there in that Bud machine. Yeah, you know, the Ford machine out there also. These guys just, it looks like they're trying to fill it out here to see what they got. I mean, I thought I might see some drivers hanging back in the back, but none of these guys right now seem to want to do that. They're awful racy early on. Nobody gave them the memo that it's only lap number, 8 of 88?
Yeah, 8 of 88. 100 laps to go. 80 laps to go, Joe.
There you go.
Could you imagine 188 at Dayton? Wow, that's we'd have to have some coffee.
You ain't lying. Now I did do a Daytona, a 200 lap one. Called it one time. 4 hours sitting here, this kind of action. You're right. Definitely had to have some chip and cookies after that one.
Absolutely, and given by the way, a note right here from race officials. Oh, wrecking out
big crash, caution.
I'll get to the note in a second, but right now, Joe, oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was a big one. That was a huge one there. Started up front there, I think, with the 04 machine, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's who was out there. But, yeah, that's what we feared earlier on. The huge one here at Talladega. You always talk about it.
Yeah, the Jimmy North out front leading the race, and it looks like the 20 of Coleman. Oh, man, I don't know. That he just gave him a bump and sent him around, man. That's a big one.
Yeah, my apologies. That was 84. I saw a 4 on the side of it, but I saw him out front there. He got up front. He powered that machine to the outside, and then it doesn't take much to get turned here at Talladega.
Oh man, that took out. Oh boy, that took out Larry Pace, Chad Coleman. Oh man, yeah, some contenders here. Joshua Williams. Able to scrape by. He's okay. Jose Gonzalez smoking out from beneath the hood. J.D. Laird seems to be fine. Man, just a bunch of drivers. The note, by the way, Joe, that I was handed was that Paul Nicholas Cooper was given a EOL penalty and started at the rear and had fallen off the pace, actually, and was in jeopardy of going a lap down if this thing stayed green. He is one of the, he's one of the chase contenders as well. So this yellow flag going to help him out.
Yeah, absolutely. I just went back and watched on the replay here, and unfortunate set of circumstances there because that was, Chad Cole looks like he just wrong place, wrong time for a bump draft. Middle of the turn. We hadn't really talked about it. That's something you don't want to do. Going into a turn, middle of the turn, and going into the tri-ovals. 2 spots you most notably don't want to bump draft a person. It looks like he just tapped the rear of that 84 just a little bit to give him a little bump, and it doesn't take much here to send these cars around to 190-some mile an hour.
And it beat and banged up a lot of good ones. Joey Jatina, big time damage. Nathan Bowers, Jimmy North, Larry Pace, big damage. Glenn Campbell, big damage. Milt Matisse, Chad Coleman. I mean, 4 of those drivers just named off, Joe, are part of the Patrick Colby as well, banged up. Brandon Scherberko, Justin Fuller, Formosa, Bowers. I mean, 4 of those guys I just mentioned are contenders.
Well, we talked about it in pre-race. This is a wild car style race. Anything can happen here. It's almost like a Bristol or Martinsville. You never know coming up in here because danger lurks around every corner. And right there, no fault, man, of Coleman and all. It's just one of those judgment calls, just a little love tap, whichever you want to call it. The wrong place, wrong time, sent the car around. Unfortunately, it was in the beginning of the field or in front of the field. And you know that what happens from there, it's kind of chaos that happens.
Oh, yeah, you just can't see. You're behind a guy, you're right up behind the deck lid, and all you see is that back rear bumper. I mean, by the time you see something, it's too late. You're either in it or you ain't.
That's it. Yeah, unless you're like what you just said when you was talking about, I think it was Cooper you said that got the UL. Unless you're just way back there, maybe you got a possible chance of missing everything, and I think he did.
Yeah, Paul Nicholas Cooper going to come away with that without a scratch. Chad Cole, by the way, he looks okay. He's one of the contenders. Malik Ray playing it easy back there in his 12th spot. He's okay. See no damage on that car.
Taraska looks all right also, I believe. Let's see. He's sitting in the 12th spot right now. He doesn't look like he got anything on that car.
Joshua Williams just ahead of them. He looks fine too. So some heavy hitters are okay at the moment. That was the big one. Lap 9, was it, Joe? Somewhere there?
Yep, about lap 9. Yep.
Yeah, lap 9. So there's always that. There's always a big one, and we might see 2 of them tonight. One early on, and then there's always at least 1 or 2 at the end. So.
Well, what this will do to them is, it'll calm them down a little bit. These guys will get out here. They'll understand now that, whoa, wait a minute, wrong place, wrong time to be bump drafting someone in a turn, middle of the turn, in the tri-oval. Hopefully it'll calm them down just a little bit. They'll settle down, and obviously they'll pick the pace back up at the end towards the race here. Because like I said earlier on, Talladega, it just feels so good early on when you got a good set of tires and a good car. You're out there, you're running, and you're running strong. You want to get to the front. It's just hard to hold back as a racer.
Absolutely so. Pace car lights off. We're going to go back green this time. Looks like the 63 of Brian Boris Cook is going to lead the way here. Brian Wertman on the outside of him in second. Then we've got Louis Robinette, Bobby Wetzel, J.D. Laird, and Chad Cole. That's your top 6 here as they roll through 3 and 4. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got a battery car up front and a couple beer machines behind it.
Lap 12 will be completed at the line. Takes about 50 seconds, folks, 49 seconds to run a lap here at Talladega under the green flag, wide open condition. 2 minutes and 8 seconds on a pace lap.
Yeah, absolutely. The pace car is going to take that hard turn on pit road. You talked about them being so slow. They actually, iRacing in week 13 here, Mike, slowed the pace speed down here in Talladega. I noticed it the other day because I noticed they were taking right here the march to the green flag. Seemed like it was taking them forever here. Slow march, parade of the cars side by side. I said, we're about to get set here to go green flag race. It's going to be lap 13 in the books here of 88.
Green.
Here we go, folks. Green flag in the air. Sim500 here tonight. Talladega Super Speedway. There's boys up front. They're going to gear them things up. Heading into turn number 1 side by side.
And what a great restart for the 89 of Brian Workman with Bobby Wetzel right all over him. As he gets into 1 and 2, they're really sharp and in the lead now. You'll look and see Louis Robinette start to bang on the back door of the 63 of Brian Boris Cook as they go down the back stretch. Oh, 3 wide. Louis going to shove it down to the bottom.
And he
looks
goes
like
down there.
Yeah, he's coming off the throttle there.
It looks like he's going to do the old fall back to the back routine there. Says, look, guys, have at it up front. I had enough, seen enough early on. So he's going to hang out back there. But them boys up front getting dicey again. 3 wide here, Mike. Their nose to tail up front. Well, as I said that, now they're going back 3 wide.
Yep, 3 wide for the lead. Coming down the tri-oval, Joshua Williams and Malik Ray lead the charge on the outside, and they will take over the lead as they go down the front stretch into 1. Both of them are going to come all the way down to the bottom, right in front of the 99. And folks, or 89, and that's how you do it. Right there, Malik Ray pushing Joshua Williams to the lead here at Dega. I love it.
Yes, he does. Takes that discount tire mobile machine to the front. Said he's got 4 good ones on it. And he brought Malik Ray along with him there. They worked in a tandem and brought the high side and power to the front. Now the nose and tail, all 4 cars straight up there in a row and a freight train coming around. Like I said, probably going to see him get a little bit settled down here. Guy's going to be a little more poised after that big one. That kind of makes you think as a driver, wait a minute, you know, hey, we were dicey early on, so let's see what we can do if we just ride around out here.
Absolutely. You've got to think after seeing that big race, taking at least 2 or 3 contenders out, that you've got to take it easy. But here's Brian Workman starting to mount a charge on the high side here. He was down low with Brian Boris Cook earlier. Now they're trying to mount it up on the high side. Laird back there with them. Chaburko in 6th spot. He's back there too as well. And Joe, you've got to take. Oh, here we go. 9 car Bobby Wetzel pushing a 3 wide in turn 3 here. Talk about taking it easy.
Yeah, we were saying that. Then they played us for a fool there for a second because they were nose to tail up front. Now they're back at it again. 3 up high, 3 down low, and they're about to bring the pack behind them up again as they cross that line. We'll tell you what, Mike, it's just going to be nonstop, I believe, here for the whole 88 lap affair here at Talladega Super Speedway. That's right, folks, Super Speedway, because this place is massive. Massive speeds, massive cars, massive powers underneath the hood of these guys out here running around this track.
So far, we've got 17 drivers on the lead lap. From 18th on back, they're at least 4 laps or more down. Chad Coleman struggling out there in the 17th spot. He's 22 seconds down from pace speed. So bad break for Mr. Coleman there. Joshua Williams, however, leading the charge here. Going to try to put the block on Brian Workman, and that's going to put Malik Ray underneath him 3 wide down the front stretch here.
Yeah, they're going to go 3 wide, cross the line that time by. The man out front, though, at 89 machine, he takes it up. Well, as we say that now, they're still 3 wide behind them.
Well, I thought he was going to clear him, but he did not. 3 wide off of the corner. 2! Oh! Looks like the 9 and the 22 nearly get into each other. Malik Ray's going to go way down. That was close, Joe.
Yes, it was. You got to be very careful. I was watching the cars up there as they were almost 4 wide. The problem is, like you said earlier, if you would just, it doesn't take much. Barely tap the rear end of somebody. Wrong bump draft, wrong time, wrong place. Can send it around again. Another big one could happen. So it's got to lurk in the back of your mind. And I'll tell you what, they are awful racy. Still side by side coming around the turns here.
Not to mention, you've got a lap car coming up ahead of the pack here. That's Chad Coleman staying way high, and hopefully everybody gets around him safely. He stays high, out of the way. Looks like most of the pack did get around him fine. You never know, though. Some guys like to try to use a lap car as a pick and dive underneath him at the last second, hoping the guy behind him hits him. Have you seen?
Yep.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, well, you know, get every bit of draft you can coming down the front stretch and whatnot. They do it in real life. Obviously, can do it here Good thing about Coleman, he's back out there. And the reason he's back out there, folks, hey, he's in the chase. He's trying to get as many points as he possibly can because we don't know. It's Talladega. It could be another big one. So even though there's 17 drivers on the lead lap, it's still early in this race. He's got a lot of time if another one happens. Knock on wood that it doesn't here, Mike. But, if it does, he could make up some more positions. More positions mean more points.
18 laps into the books, we've had one caution that's hurt a lot of drivers. In fact, Stevie Minison supported behind the garage, Justin Fuller, Nathan Bowers, Patrick Colby, Scott Formosa, Glenn Campbell have all pulled it behind the garage and called it quits, all involved in that first wreck. In fact, Chad Coleman, he's the first one a lap down now. He was caused up in that wreck, but like you said, he's out there trying to fight for that top 10 contender spot. But look, after tonight's race, it goes to 6. So 4 drivers are not going to make it to Michigan, and right now, Coleman is one of them.
Yep, and that's why it's so important for him to be back out there running. He never knows it. Right now, I'm only showing him a lap down. Could be off on the calculation there with what the iRacing showing, but I'm only showing him a lap down. So caution, he could get the lucky dog, get back on the lead lap, and and I know, Mike, hey, anything can happen here. You can be in the back, bring that thing to the front. So his night's not done quite yet. It's going to be a long way to go here and an uphill battle to get there.
And looking, Joe, at the contender 10 here, I don't see Kyle Manger driving the 25 machine in the race tonight. So there's one elimination right there.
Absolutely. Every little bit helps here. Like I said, we're taking 6 drivers, taking from 8 to 6 down, actually from 10 to 6, down here tonight. That's 4 drivers, like you said, it's going to be left out going into the, we go from the high banks of Talladega with a lot of super speedway here to Michigan, which can also be considered, it is a super speedway in itself, so not a lot of high speeds. But, you're right. Coleman and those guys caught up in the wreck earlier on, those guys, man, are going to sit here and pace themselves. If they're not out of it here, if that wreck would happen, let's say lap 60 or so, yeah, we might be like, yeah, kind of looking gloom and doom then.
Gloom and doom. And as things have settled down for the moment, Joe, I think we'll take this perfect opportunity to take our first commercial break. 20 laps into the books, 21 this time by. You're watching Yellow Flags TV live presentation of the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series, the Contender 10 at Talladega. We'll be back after these few messages.
Start your engine!
Side-by-side racing as per usual at Talladega. Top 10, Joe, are all double file currently. No three-wide action right now. Battle for the lead out front is the 63 of Brian Borscook and Bobby Wetzel. That slows down as it appears that Louis Robinette needs to cool the engine. And Chad Cole will push Brian Borscook down to 1.
Yeah, it is. They were double file there for a little bit. Now they're all single file, nose to tail, storming around here. And that's the thing we just touched on in a second. Cooling the engine. These guys, they're a little bit off of each other right now. You see the cars out there waving back and forth. That's to get a little bit of air in the nose of those things because you can overheat one. Now, obviously, with 10 or 5 to go, you don't care. Blow that thing sky high to the moon. We got to.
Absolutely. During the break, checked in with race control. Chad Manger does not have a sub driver tonight, Joe. So he missed tonight. So he is officially out of the Contender 10. Tough break for him. So big wreck down the front stretch. Looks like Mike Kelly.
He held on to it.
Did he hold on? I couldn't
He
follow
did.
him.
He went on through the grass, mowing the grass down there, and he was able to hold on to that car.
God, what a save.
Yes, he was. Wow.
Boy. No damage.
That'll wake you up.
Yeah, that'll wake you up. Looked like was it Kyle Tarasca that gave him that big old push?
I wasn't sure. I'd have to go back on it. I just know he made an evasive move there. He went off down to the grass. Always caught going out there with the V8 mowing the grass down through there. Kind of a little head shaving and so forth, but he was able to hold on to that thing, drive through there, didn't hit anything, didn't lose it. He just lost a draft is the bad thing about it, but if we get some green flag stops, it might not be too bad for him.
Yeah. Mike Kelly, John Deere in it here at Dega. Now, we're hearing from race officials and radio communications, Joe, that Brandon Schaberko could possibly be coming down pit road here. I don't see him doing that. He's on the outside here going through 3 and 7th spot. If he pits right here, it could be bad.
Well, I was just about to touch on him. On that 21 machine, he's got a lot of damage on the front nose. And probably the reason he's going to bring that thing down is we do see him bringing it down right now. Wow, he brings it in a hurry.
Yeah, he's
black flag.
That's what you call throwing in the towel right there, Joe.
Gotcha. Well, the reason I was going to touch on is he got a lot of damage on the nose. That thing could be overheating, and he's very, very close to probably that thing blowing sky high. But he's definitely going to get a black flag on that one because he came in and, well, as I say that, he's gone.
Yeah. As you mentioned, though, I think that was probably an engine issue. He's probably about to blow it up, and just to try not to take nobody out,
Yep.
He just decides to pull it on in. That's a good move by him.
It was good sportsmanship because he was up front of the pack, and I noticed he made a move to go really high to let the whole pack go by. Very good sportsmanship there because most guys would be like, wow, I'm just wait till it blows up and just stay out there. The problem is, being in front of the field like this, bunched up like they are, he could have took a lot of drivers out. Look at Kyle Tarasca, though, coming up through the middle, making waves in that number 3.
Still driving the old Goodrich.
Yes, he is. Trying to look like Earnhardt out there in the old days here at Talladega, who used to rule this place, and he brought that thing up. Now you got cars up high, and getting a little dicey again up front.
Now, folks, 8 of the 9 drivers that are still running, all 8, get this, all 8 of the contender drivers are in the top 10 right now.
Wow, there you go. That is awesome. We touched on it earlier. Coleman, he was out there. People say, why in the world you back out there? Well, hey, look, you got nothing to lose. Why not? Get back out there. Get some, get some pace in. You never know what's happening. You never know what's going to lurk around. Guys could fall out. Guys could get in a wreck. You just don't know in a long race like this.
The 2 drivers that are outside, Joe, the top 10 are Larry Pace. He's in 15th spot, 1 lap down. Chad Coleman, who is in 17th spot, 3 laps down.
Yeah.
So,
and it's still early. It's still early.
Still early, yep. But 4 drivers are going to be eliminated tonight, and it is not looking good for Chad Coleman. Larry Pace, but it is still early. You're right. Anything can happen up front. A blown engine by one of these guys right now. They're 30 laps, 40 laps to the good Pace and Coleman would be, so that would be one position up.
Yep. Well, the guy on the move right now watching is that number 3 machine out there. That Woodbridge machine going for the lead. He's side by side with the 22 of Joshua up front. That's Kyle Tarasco. We talked about him at Darlington. Well, he's got a guy on his high side there as they go 3 wide. He's been able to power that machine to the front here. He's trying to get bonus points for leading, right?
Halfway bonus points, yes, sir.
All right, good deal. That's probably what he's thinking about in the back of his mind. Why not?
And he will come down in front of Joshua Williams, one of the fastest drivers of the Sim500, so not a bad tandem. If you're going to work with somebody, Joshua Williams would be great. Bobby Wetzel, in fact, pushed Kyle Tarasco to that lead, and Brian Boris Cook 3 wide motion was denied, and now he's back in 5th spot as they cross the line here. 31 laps complete, winding it down. Kyle Tarasco looking for the halfway bonus point here. Big time points if he could get it, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. Helps him in the chase here. Helps him go on. Why not? Well, win definitely seals his deal here to go to Michigan next week to try and buy a championship. Right now, out front looking good, but don't blink too fast because the high line's coming with Bobby out there. He's bringing the Coors machine. He said, look, you got drinks, I got beer, man, in the back of the trunk. We'll have us a party up front here.
Yeah, here comes Bobby on the outside. Yeah, 63 pushing him. That's Brian Boris Cook, but Joe Hudson's like, I'm going to pick that bottom line and get behind Joshua Williams and Kyle Tarasco. Those guys are pretty quick. And there's your 3-car tandem to the bottom and 2-car tandem to the high side. J.D. Laird, by the way, in the 6th spot, been very quiet tonight. Now, you notice how he's kind of laying back there.
He is just laying back, trying to see what these guys up front are going to do. Right now, it's not the time to get nose, really tucked up nose to tell. I mean, they are right there. I see the pile up front, but keep the car cool. This is textbook drafting of what he's doing. Maybe about a half car, a hood length in between one machine. They always wonder, why don't those guys just stay on their bumper? Well, we talked about it. Car can overheat on you. Right now, you stay maybe a couple feet off of them, pull up on it every once in a while. It's early in the race now. 10 to go. Yeah, you got that thing up in somebody's tailpipe.
Possible 3-wide move here. Brian Boris Cook going to look to the high side here on Bobby Wetzel out of corner 2 here. Bobby in the middle, 12 down low. That's going to be Joe Hudson as that 3-wide now fans back 1 row to the 30 of Louis Robinette. Bobby Wetzel appears to be backing out, and he's like, whoa, let's keep it chill, folks.
Yeah, it is. He's going to back out and try to get that draft going on the low line right there. He saw he was inside, no help there. He saw the high line go around. Like you said, the 63 machine there, Brian, he's got help. 23, excuse me. I think that's J.D. Laird, ain't it?
Yep, J.D. Laird pushing Brian Boris Cook.
And I apologize. I'm getting some of these names right here, learning a lot of these drivers out here because you're right. A lot of these guys out here are very fast. And, very good sportsmanship showing right now because, normally you come to a plate track race, a lot of tempers flare, a lot of guys out here make some wild moves. Right now, we're not really seeing a lot of that. Seeing some great racing. That's what we're seeing.
I'm interested to see if J.D. Laird's going to push the issue here. He looks like he's going to give Brian Boris Cook a run down the backstretch. He'll go past Joe Hudson there on the bottom. Laird kind of staying back. Yeah, he'll fan it back out to the high side there. He looks like he might be trying to cool the engine. Calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah, you notice that top lane's not making a move towards the front there. The reason is because 23's not tucked in behind the 63 machine there of Brian. Now he goes to the high side, couldn't leave him out to dry. But if they were tucked up nose to tail really tight, they could have brought that high line to the front. But now that's something you don't want to see 23 blinking.
And that's Paul Nicholas Cooper, who's behind the 23 of Laird off the corner here. He appears to say, hey, I'm with you. 3 wide down the backstretch. Once again, it's now the 63 Brian Boris Cook has a new tandem partner, and it's Joe Hudson.
Yeah, it is. Got a new one there. There's 3 wide stacked up. Nose to tail here. You still got Tarasco out front. Got the 22 there. Joshua on his back there. Don't count out that middle groove there. Now you see how tight they are? They're supposed to bring those 3 cars to the front if they stay that way, and we'll see it. But if they back off and cool the motors, then they're just going to be like a deadlock as soon as they get up on side by side.
Yep, top 6 there, nose to tail in 1 and 2. This is that side-by-side racing, Joe, that I love to see at Talladega. These guys putting on a nice show. Be careful, though. Don't cause anything. Don't cause no harm as they come off the corner here. You got to be careful.
Well, we talked about it. We saw earlier on with the wreck. The wrong place, wrong time to bump grass, definitely going into a turn, middle of the turn, and going into the trial. And right there, we saw the 22 touch the apron. That's another thing. Don't want to do that. That'll upset that car in a hurry.
Just to check on Chad Coleman, he's back in 16th spot, still 4 laps down. Larry Pace now 2 laps down in the 15th spot. So those guys battling at each other. That's 2 drivers right there that's way off pace. All right, then we've got Kyle Manger. He would be the 3rd guy. He is not in tonight's race. He did failure to show. So that's 3 drivers right there. There's a 4th driver that will not be able to go on. At the moment, Joe, that 4th driver is the 11th place car of E.J. O'Warwick. Can you believe that?
Wow. Tight battle.
Tight battle. So that just shows you that 11th spot in tonight's race will not get you to Michigan for the Eliminator 6 next week.
Absolutely. You talk about the EJ and Cole. They're right there near each other. The problem is, and I said it earlier, inches. Look at where Chad Cole is and EJ is, and as I say that, now EJ takes the spot to 8th place. See, that's just how fast things can change here.
Chad Cole would now be your eliminated driver back in 11th. How about that?
Wow, that's what I'm saying. Just like that, because I was just watching the lap time there between the two. I mean, the whole field here, from the top to the 12th place, actually to the 11th place, there's not a second. It's almost just a little over half second.
Man, this is going to be fun to the end here, buddy, because we just saw how quick, within not even half of a lap, that it went from E.J. O'Warwick to split second to Malik Ray, and it's now Chad Cole who's in that bubble hot spot seat right there. Man, it's just these guys, man, I don't know if they realize, Joe, how close it is. I don't think they're paying attention to it. I don't think they can afford to. But me and you know, we don't have to worry about driving a race car. Now it's J.D. Laird who would be the guy that's in the hot seat. Man!
It's crazy. I mean, it's going to swap back and forth the whole entire race back there. You got even Malik Ray back there in the mix. He's right there in the 10th spot. So you've got Laird, Ray, and Cole all right there with his 19th and 11th spot. Wow.
On the bubble, in the hot seat.
Yes.
It's going to change back and forth. 40 laps are now complete. 48 to go, nearly halfway home. Who's going to get that valuable bonus point? Although, if you're not in that top 6, you know, that bonus point ain't going to help out too much, Joe. It might be, you know, fun to say, hey, I got the halfway award bonus point, but man, it may not mean squat next week at Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we talked about Kyle Tarasca right there, but it looks like Joshua Williams in that 22. He said, well, I'm so fast, I'm going to bring the high side with me. He's got help with the 63 there. Brian on his back deck lid. Tarasca back on the inside, so they're fighting for that halfway spot.
Oh, boy, a gaggle of cars down the front stretch here, nearly 3 wide for at least a half a dozen or 12 or a dozen times here tonight. We'll see a lot more of that. But so far, this pack of 11 drivers is where the racing is at.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, Kyle Tarasca leading the charge. Now Joshua Williams takes over down the backstretch for the moment.
Yeah, right now, you got that 22 machine. He is looking strong on the outside right there. He's giving Tarasca all he can handle up there. It's a side-by-side affair here. Who's going to take that halfway position? It's going to be interesting.
Just a few laps away. I think next time by, Joe, we'll know who will get that bonus point. Kyle Taraska's leading the charge.
Well, you got just note about
Laps.
it. Real quick thing. Right, look who now is up there. Malik Ray.
Woo! Did you see that? Did you see those 2 lap cars?
That was close.
Golly. That's Chad Coleman, by the way, and Larry Pace are tandemed up with each other, drafting 15th and 16th respectively. Man. They almost Kevin LePage, didn't they?
They did. I'm going to tell you what, that 22 was able to power out front.
Caution.
Oh!
All right, Bud, why don't you give me status on your car there?
Yep, that's got the 9 involved. And
Louis
a
Robinette.
Budweiser machine back there, too.
All right, neither driver is a contender.
Ah, good.
But, boy, Joe Hudson, Bobby Wetzel, and Louis Robinette tonight are going to be all but done after that 3-car pilot right there. 44 laps complete. Joe, Joshua Williams gets the bonus point.
Gotcha. Good deal. You know, and wow. I guess we can talk about it. Net code right there involved. If you watch the replay on an unfortunate thing. Look, I thought there for a minute might have clipped the apron. Just came up there. The 9-car, wrong place, wrong time. I guess is the old adage to say.
Oh man. So Joe, that all but does it right there.
Yes.
The top 8 drivers, 9, 10, 11 just took themselves out. Those 3 drivers now are not chase contenders. Bobby Wetzel, Joe Hudson, Louis Robinette. The remaining 8 that have 0 to no damage, except for the Brian Boris Cook machine, are all chase contender drivers.
Wow. Yeah. Just like that, how things can change very quickly here at Talladega. And, you know, people need to realize driving here, that's just Talladega. We call it the wild card race for a reason because it is a wild card. Just like the short tracks of Bristol and Martinsville, anything can happen. Danger lurks around every corner.
They are literally going to have to race that 6th place finisher tonight. Will have to race his way into next week at Michigan. There's going to be a bubble seat there if this thing stays green and there's not a contender taken out previously, but someone's going to have to race their way into this thing.
Wow.
And yep, Brian Boris Cook, by the way, just pitted green flag or a yellow flag pit stop there. So that'll take him back to about 9th or 10th spot. So there you have it. Joshua Williams, Malik Ray, Paul Nicholas Cooper, Kyle Taraska, J.D. Laird, E.J. O'Rourke, Chad Cole. Top 7 right there are all contender drivers. And 6 only go.
That's a tight fit. You know, as a driver, though, you have that in the back of your mind, but you really, at this point, just can't think about it. Your biggest thing is finishing this race, getting up front, trying to win this thing, and come out of here the best that you possibly can. You know, you're probably getting information. You're probably, if you're calculating in the back of your mind, thinking, yeah, this is what I got to do. You won't do that probably till about lap 80 or so. But right now, you just want to survive a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, at what point you say lap 80? I mean, I could half partially agree with that. At what point would you really need to know? Because if you're in that 6th spot or you're in that 7th spot, and
yeah,
I mean, when do you want to know, or do you want to know? You know.
Well, and that too. That's a good question. Do you want to? I mean, obviously the safest place to be is out front. Then there's no question about it. If you're out front, obviously that's where you need to be. Being in the back of the pack, you never know because you don't know what happened. We saw it there, Mike. They was 19th and 11th. We're all right there nose to tail, and then it changed within a second. So it happens very quickly here.
Oh, man. Now all the drivers are coming down pit road. That just shows you how bad they wanted that bonus point, evidently. drivers coming down pit road, Joe.
4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, full. Yep, exactly. And then Mike Kelly will now be your race leader. Brian Boris Cook is now second. Remember, he pitted during that caution. This caution that we're on, when the pits first opened, it took another lap for the other drivers to come down. But here they are. They're down and away. And Joshua Williams is going to win that race.
You know, and just for any new viewers out there, anybody that's tuning in here tonight, you're probably wondering, well, wait a minute, what happened here? You know, kind of recap. We're in a caution here. Another small little one, we'll call it that. We had a big one earlier on. But there is no fast fixes here, folks, and that's why you don't see a lot of them cars back there getting their kind of reset or backup car back out. So once you get in these bad wrecks, you're pretty much one and done.
One and done. 2 cautions tonight. And the first caution, Joe, as you mentioned, big one. And then the second one, 3-car pileup. Hopefully we don't see any more, because if we do, that's going to mean contenders.
Yes.
For the most part, yep. And
well, we're not done yet.
Yeah, we're not done yet, exactly. And that's why, like you mentioned, I believe that Larry Pace and Chad Coleman are staying out. They know that they're going to try to make every lap count.
Well, let's touch on this for a second, Mike. Tires here, I mean, they've been out here running for a little bit. Tires don't get eat up as bad here at Talladega. Fuel is going to be your biggest issue here. You actually could, I'm waiting to see, as if later on in this race, and we've still got a good solid 30-some laps here, they're going to have to make, if it goes green flag from here on out, they'll have to make another pit stop from my calculation. I could be wrong, but if they do, we could see somebody take 2 tires stop, because tires don't get eat up as bad. So it's not as crucial here as like what we would see at a Michigan or a Las Vegas race.
Looks like some contenders are coming back down again.
I see that. Maybe to top off, to maybe take it to the end. So I don't know the fuel window. What's the fuel window here usually?
Oh, Joe, I wish you'd asked Pedro that, or maybe you did. They're a little over halfway, and they are topping off, by the way. That's a top off.
Yep. So we might see some guys going to stretch it here. You know, if they're running, let's say, 75, 80% fuel here, they should be able to take it, I'm going to say, around the 30-some lap mark, which is going to put them right there at the end. Obviously going to save some. A caution comes out, definitely is going to help them out. Green flag running, but tires, you know, they got 4 tires. What you got on this pit stop is what you got as far as tires. I don't think, even if another caution come out, somebody would afford to take more tires. Maybe 2, but I don't think we would see somebody taking 4. Definitely if they had to do a green flag stop, no. You're just going to take some fuel and go.
Now, Joe, up here in front, I see J.D. Laird and Brian Boris Cook leading this thing. Look behind them. You got Milt Matisse, who's in 12th spot, 2 laps down, and Jose Gonzalez 34 laps down, that are showing in that second row with the pace car lights off. Is this how this thing's going to restart right here?
Should. Yeah, I think what happened was it got mixed up somehow. When those guys went back down into the pits, if they would have stayed out, I think the other guys would have been in front of them. For some reason, I believe, Hal, when they went into the pits, it allowed those guys up there to stay in front of them because they should have already got the wave around.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna have to delay this green because there's some EOL requesting. Malie Ray's down at the bottom of the racetrack under the yellow line. Pace car lights are off, so if this thing's going to restart, this is going to be insane.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And they're not even nowhere near a double file right now. Yeah, what happened was all the leaders, I think, when they came down on pit road there to top off, and iRacing, saw it, and it shifted every one of those cars to the front. So it looks like they're going to start it. And
they're going green.
They are.
Yep. Now, Jose Gonzalez went down pit road with the pace car basically to get out of the way. Milt Matisse now, he's damaged and still up there. He couldn't get out of the way.
Green flag.
Slowly but surely, this thing gets back going green here. These green flag restarts, buddy. It's hard to tell when they're going.
Yeah, well, you still got 2 front runners out there. You got Brian up there in the 63, JD right there in the second spot. Up there, that's probably why it held like it was. You got a couple lap cars, but they're going to get up there. If they don't get nose to tail real quick, that pack behind them will get formed up and run them down in a hurry.
Big time separation beginning to happen here from that restart. E.J. O'Rourke about 4 car lengths behind. Chad Cole trying to give him the friendly nudge to catch that 3-car tandem up there. I think they will. But a lot of single file right now because of this restart here. God.
Yes.
I cannot believe they did not throw a delayed green and EOL those 2 cars. But, you know, that's something to think about later. Mike Kelly to the lead on the outside here, taking it over from Brian Boris Cook. He'll get it. Mike Kelly gets 1 lap here tonight.
Yes, he does. Gets that 1 lap in there. Now you see that second pack coming up there. They were nose to tail, bringing it to the front. It's the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke right there. He knows the importance. And we were talking about him earlier on. What, about 10 laps ago, Mike? He was on the bubble. Now look at him.
Up there in 4th spot, yep. Back behind them, Joe, Milt Matisse. Look in the 8th spot, Malik Ray and Kyle Taraska and Josh Williams. They are separated by that 7th place driver by 6 or 7 car lengths there. They might be out of the draft.
Well, and they might be out of draft, and also we talked about it, 8th and 9th. Well, what is that? That's out the bubble.
Yeah, that's out the bubble. Yep. Well, they didn't lose the draft, by the way. They're on it.
Good deal. Good, good. Because, I mean, when we're talking about it, it's just how close it is. I mean, we're sitting here talking, everybody's understanding, like, well, what do you mean? They're sitting at 8th and 9th, doing really well. Well, they are race-wise doing well. But, folks, only 6 are going ahead to next week in the championship battle here, and that's what those guys are wanting. You know, Malik Ray, Kyle Taraska, and Taraska was up front just, 5, 6, 7 laps ago, leading this thing.
Now he's right there on the bubble.
Absolutely.
50 laps will be completed this time by, Joe. We'll have 38 to go. With that said, we're going to step away, take a commercial break. I'm going down to pit road, and I'm going to get me one of those foot-long Talladega hot dogs.
That sounds good to me.
Ketchup only, with the lightly toasted bun and some burrito chips. Nothing better with a Coca-Cola.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, we'll be right back. You're watching Yellow Flag TV's live presentation of the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series Contender 10 race, Chase 2 at Talladega. We'll be back.
Start your engine!
we are under the yellow. A big wreck just happened, and I'm trying to get back to it, Joe. Bad news, though. I think that was up front.
It was the number 2 car involved, a Mike Kelly right there. The 22, though, a Joshua Williams went inside, just got the rear quarter panel. We was talking about coming into the trioval. I was watching it here on the replay, and the 2 went around. Looks like the 22 didn't get too bad. The 23 machine there got involved with it. Looks like there were only 2 cars, though. Everybody else kind of missed it. Wow, I don't see how, but they got by. And the 81 machine, he went off in the grass a little bit there.
Yeah, not too sure how bad J.D. Laird's machine's going to be beat up, or Williams, to that matter. Right front quarter panel there, or right front panel there, getting banged up. Man.
Yeah, a little bump. It might not hurt him if he stays behind someone later on. It's really going to hurt him when he gets out front.
That could have been a lot worse, too.
Yes, it could.
So, that's going to bring down the drivers down pit road here. Just bit into that hot dog, buddy. Man.
That's a good one.
Oh, buddy, there ain't nothing like an Alabama hot dog.
No, awesome. I'll tell you what. I love some hot dogs now. Up here in Lexington, we got a lot of barbecue places, and they sell some awesome hot dogs.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing that beats barbecue, too.
Yes.
Now, the thing that makes the barbecue, the thing that makes the hot dog, folks, is the Coca-Cola that is drank right behind it.
That or sweet tea?
Yeah, that or sweet tea, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I agree with that. I concur.
Yep. We're from the South, man. Really quick story. My wife was from the North, so yes, I married a Northerner, folks. And first time I ever visited up there, I did not know that they didn't know what sweet tea was. And most importantly, ice sweet tea. So a true Northern restaurant, they didn't serve it. It's all unsweet without ice. And that was an experience. Oh, yes. First time going up there. Pennsylvania area, by the way. What do you think about this race so far here, Mike?
Well, I was just about to say, man, I don't know. It's going to depend on how. I don't think Joshua Williams is going to be too bad. My fear, though, is for J.D. Laird. Look at that car. I mean, left side is completely, well, it's actually a lot better now that he's pitted.
He probably took some optional on it. Probably did.
Yeah, he definitely took some optional on it.
It won't hurt him in a draft. It doesn't look like it's hurt the nose or the rear end of the car too bad. Maybe if he gets out front, could hurt him a little bit, but obviously make that move at the last place last time. Now, biggest thing is he's out here running, J.D. Laird's out there running for points. In the back of his mind, now, you were talking about earlier, when does these guys want to know, or when do they start thinking about it? Probably at this point on now is when you want to know. Under caution again, hey, if I get in the top 3, I could pretty much say I'm safe, you know, kind of in the back of your mind. So that might be another thing. If he's up front and he's up there, let's say in second spot, understands, you know, if you're in the chase contender and you're sitting in second, at some point you got to also think about, do I want to win this race or tear this car up and lose a shot at being a champ? Because ultimately that's the biggest prize, being the champ.
Absolutely. And if I'm J.D. Laird, I'm fine with 4th, 5th.
Yep.
Anything, if I start falling behind back to 5th or worse, I'm starting to get a little worried.
Yep. Well, you know there's 6 spots. So anything 6 up as a driver, that's what you're shooting for.
That's what you're shooting for. And right now, Joshua Williams would be your 4th driver out.
Wow.
But
yeah,
it just changed. Kyle
Tarasca. Just like that. Boom.
Just like that, but that's as quick as it could change right there.
Bingo.
I mean, I couldn't think of a better way, Joe, to come into Talladega and leave Talladega with a race to end, race your way to be in it,
Yeah, absolutely, and that's how it should be. These guys are out here. The chase format was set up by NASCAR to win. It promotes competition. It wants you to get up there and race hard. That's what we're seeing here. We just said 6th place up. That gets you into next week. That's obvious. You know that as a driver. I've got to finish 6 or higher. Period. There's 6 guys going, so 6th place up. But with that said, now you got to look. Kyle Tarasca's the man sitting on the outside. It's that close back there between them.
And the fact too that all the drivers that we're talking about that's in the chase here, that's left, are on the lead lap. They're fighting for the position with a mix of Brian Boris Cook and Brian Workman, but the other drivers are all contender drivers. Wow. And they're going to have to, like you said, compete against one another to race into Michigan. They can't just, I'll be fine with finishing 15th because such and such, finished, whatever. They're having to fight for a position that they're all capable of finishing in. 7th spot at Dega, 6th spot at Dega. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Get there in Michigan, and first you got to get past here at Talladega, and that, getting that 6th spot on, and then you think about Michigan. Right now, that's in the back of your mind, but you want to make it out of here. And like you said, there's a couple cars there. I mean, we're only talking, 2 spots difference. That can mean you making it to Michigan in the chase or not.
And officially, folks, completely out of the Contender 10, Kyle Manger. So we have 9 remaining. So that means there's 3 more drivers not going to be able to go to Michigan and race for a championship.
Yep, absolutely. And
2 of those drivers, Joe, are Chad Coleman and Larry Pace, two of which drivers are off the lead lap. I mean, Chad Coleman's 7 laps down, and Larry Pace is 2 laps down. He's damaged. He's out.
Yeah.
If this thing stays green.
Yeah, what he is basically, I guess, praying for is another huge big one that takes out about 3 or 4 different one of those cars, and they're not able to kind of kick going. And hopefully it happens quick. Now, obviously, we don't want to see that. None of the other drivers want to see that out there. But in the back of his mind, that's what he's doing. You don't give up until the end. I mean, you got to give hats off to him. It might be a little shade right now on him, but you just can't give up as a driver.
And wouldn't that be a great payoff for Larry Pace and for Chad Coleman to stay in the race, even being laps down, even being damaged and being a lap down and just clawing your way, and then a big wreck happen within 10 laps to go, and a driver's completely out, and then they advance because they stayed. I mean, that would be a good payoff for them.
And it is, and we talked about it. It can happen here. It's not out of the realm of reality for that to happen. A big one up here. These guys are about to put the wick up here soon, and it's going to happen soon. We're going to be, lap 58, 59 when we go back green flag racing. Folks, we're only going to have about 20-some more laps here, and with that said, you're getting down to the end of it. 30-some laps, excuse me.
Getting down to the nitty-gritty.
Absolutely.
E.J. O'Rourke, folks, is your race leader. Brian Boris Cook 2nd, Chad Cole 3rd, Brian Workman will be 4th, Laird 5th. Williams will be 6th, Kyle Tarasca 7th, Malik Ray 8th, and Paul Nicholas Cooper 9th. So, golly, there's your 8 contenders, or there's your 7 contenders right there.
Yeah. Awesome. That's all you can say.
Yeah, the top 9 are all on the lead lap, and 7 of them are chase contenders. 1 will not make it.
Wow. I'm trying to look. Is that what is that? Brian Wortman.
Right, yep.
Wortman. He's the man that's not in the chase right now. I don't see him on the thing.
Okay. Yeah, him and Brian Boris Cook are two drivers out of it. Yep.
And, you also got to think about it. Those guys are going for a win. A win's a win to them. They're thinking about it. Hey, look, they might be chase guys back there, but guys, we're going for the win. As a chase driver, though, we just talked about a second ago. At what point do you say, well, these guys are going for a win. They got nothing to lose. I got everything in the world to lose. Do I just help them win the race or go up here and take a chance to get taken out with 5 to go or something?
And both drivers are winless in the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series. Paul Nicholas Cooper, winless. Had a few top 5s, but winless. And then, of course, Brian Wortman has not had a top 5 yet in the Sim500 League. So both drivers, as you mentioned, they're going for a win here. The heck with the grid, the heck with the chase grid. Eliminator 6, Championship 4, it doesn't matter to them. Pace car is off. And we're going to get this thing going back green. 59 laps will be complete at the line. E.J. O'Rourke and that gmercer.com Camaro Chevy will take us to the green. The 63 Brian Boris Cook and the Interstate Batteries Toyota to the outside.
Ready,
slowly
green
but
flag.
surely, we're back green flag racing here.
Yes, we are. Green flag in the air here. Going to be lap 59. Going to be incomplete as they go nose to tail up front. I think that's what we're going to see here. The guys are going to pace themselves just a little bit as they understand, as you see them now, kind of being a little bit cautious. That's kind of a unique word to use for drivers out here. As we say that, here they go. They're getting dicey again.
Yeah, that's J.D. Laird sticking the nose to the outside. He's going to test that car to see if it's still in good shape. Williams will move up to the high side with him, and he'll be a tandem partner for now. As they go down the backstretch, E.J. O'Rourke to the bottom, Cook to the bottom as well. Laird looking for the lead in 3.
Yes, they're going side by side. They're going to come out of turn number 2 here, storm down the bad stretch. They're going to be side by side here. You talked about the 23 understands, hey, up front's the best place to be. Out front is, and I know I make it to Michigan next week. He's bringing Kyle Taraska and the 22 machine, so that's all chase contenders. Well, he going to leave his dancing partner out, and guess what? He's going to get left out.
Oh, and J.D. Laird will get credit for leading that lap. But Joshua Williams will now lead the lap with this race now. The 3 car behind him, 3 wide coming off the corner here. Williams gets back in front of Laird.
Wow, what the 22 machine, Joshua Williams up there. He brought Kyle Taraska right along with him and then left him out to dry. Said, hey, you brought me to the party. See you later. I'm here. Got to go. So, wow, it is just getting very racy up front.
Very racy. 60 laps complete here, folks. We're winding it down. 28 to go. Off the corner here. Joshua Williams going to give up the lead again to J.D. Laird on the outside coming through the tri-oval. Laird will take the lead. Look at that.
That was close.
Yep.
A lot of these chase drivers up here, they're not giving an inch. Right there, look at Kyle Taraska sitting up there. Well, we're going to say he's in the 3rd spot. He's sitting around about the 3rd, 4th spot. It's just back and forth. You never know. And we talked about it, 6 drivers. So they know 6 or higher, and you're sitting back there in the 4th place. But look at it. Between 5th or between 6th and 7th spot, it's only inches.
Only inches. And right now, folks, Chad Cole is in 8th spot. He would be your 7th man out, would not make it to Michigan if the race were to checkered flag right now. That just shows you how close it is. Ahead of him are 2 drivers not in the chase. That's the 63 of Brian Boris Cook and Jose Gonzalez. Up ahead of them is E.J. O'Rourke being shown in the 6th spot. So he's right there on the bubble. That's where he needs to be. But, Joe, if I'm E.J., yeah, there you go, E.J. He's working underneath Paul Nicholas Cooper and Laird now, making some more moves. I don't want to be sitting 6th.
No, absolutely not. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of chase drivers right now trying to jockey and try to get up to the front. They're trying the high side, middle side, anything that they can see to get this car to the front. As we see, we got, 5, 6 cars up top. We got about 4 or 5 down low. Kyle Taraska's out front. Safest place to be, well, is to be out front.
It is, and man, you can just feel the intensity. It just picked up. Kyle Taraska taking over the lead with Malik Ray. That's his dancing partner, buddy. I'm telling you, those 2 guys are tag teamed up, running 1 and 2 right now. Joshua Williams now dirts it down to the bottom in third spot. He'll get behind them as well. EJ will work in fourth. So a little single file action for the top 3 drivers here off the corner of 2.
Yeah, it is. But I'll tell you what, that 22 is playing dangerous right there, because when he cut down earlier on, he cut the nose off of the 41 at EJ O'Rourke. As we see him storming on the outside here. Nope, goes to the inside. See, if he keeps doing that, the 41 machine could get a run on him. Problem is, that 22 dives down there at the wrong time. Guess what? Catch the rear end. He's gone.
Man! He blocked EJ. Now he goes to the high side there in front of Malik Ray to try to get the draft around Kyle Tarasca. Now we've got a new leader.
They're a little more racier than I thought they would be right now.
I know, man. The intensity, I told you, has picked up. 64 laps complete, 88 on the books, folks. This is the WCIparts.com 88 at Talladega, Contender 10. 6 advance to Michigan next week. And one of them is going to get left behind here in the top 8.
Yeah, but Chad Cole right now is a man sitting on the outside looking in. He's got time because he's right there. I mean, the whole top field is less than a half second apart from each other.
Off the corner of turn 4 at Talladega, the leader, Joshua Williams, leading the charge on Malik Ray. Laird on the high side. Looks like Laird's going to stick to that high side, Joe. Every time I look, J.D. Laird's on that high side. He's got Paul Nicholas Cooper with him and Brian Boris Cook, so he's got some company up there. Workman also working the high side behind them in 9th spot. Looks like any moment, Joe, it could be a 2-car side-by-side all the way back to 8th spot here. That's how close and tight it is.
It is. And it looks like Malik Ray right now is content to stay behind Joshua Williams and push him around. We talked about it earlier. At what point in the back of your mind, I know you want to win this race. Hey, also being a champion, that's the whole ultimate goal here. And you know, being in second place, obviously it gets you there. So he knows that. So Malik Ray might right now be saying, look, maybe I'm going to try to push this guy and stay here and see what I can do.
Something to point out, Joe, just 23 drivers, JDR Graphics machine. Obviously, J.D. Laird owns that company. Behind him is a JDR driver, Paul Nicholas Cooper. So we know these guys are allies. So they're sticking with each other. So here they come off the corner, 3 wide, a lap car above. That's the 20 of Chad Coleman. He stays high.
Well, you still got 3 cars up high. They're trying to get that high line draft going and see if they can bring it to the front and do anything with the tandem up front of the 22 of Joshua Williams and Malik Ray. You know, Kyle Tarasca sitting in the catbird seat right there in 3rd. So your top 3 guys definitely locked in. And I believe it's the 63 machine right there of Cook. Well, he's an odd man out. He's one of the ones that's not a chase contender. So he's going to have to try to see if he's going to help anybody.
Plenty of laps left, though. It's Talladega.
Yes.
2.66 mile racetrack. Man, it's still intense though.
It is. I mean, these guys are still right there, inches and feet apart from each other. You see Tarasca taking that high line. He's going to see if he can't up there and battle, maybe get a little side draft as they storm down the backstretch here. And you talk about a huge track here, 2.66 miles of a super speedway at Talladega. It's a long way to go. We're only lap 67 or 88 here. Another couple laps, 20 laps to go. Yeah, at some point, business is going to pick up. Run what you brung. We're going to start seeing it. But right now, these guys, man, are trying to fill these cars out.
Meanwhile, Malik Ray has been pushing Joshua Williams hard for the last few laps. He's got to cool that engine, I'm sure. Now J.D. Laird's got some drafting partner ahead of him, and that's Kyle Tarasca. J.D. should be able to get up behind him and push him just fine as things can start looking better for the high side lane here. Paul Nicholas Cooper just kind of trapped there for now in 3rd and 4th spot there, back and forth with Kyle as they go down the backstretch. Yeah, you can just tell Malik's having to let off a little bit. Joe, that's a dangerous situation.
Well, absolutely. Now, what they're also looking at is, and they saw that, they've already got the game plan in. Malik knows he can push that Williams around this track and keep that high line at bay. Well, as I say that, he's going high.
Yeah, he had to cool that engine, and there he goes, high and taking over the lead there. Kyle Tarasca behind him, going to definitely be able to push him out to the lead there, and Kyle chooses to say hi.
Well, don't count out that number 18. I've been watching him back there a little bit behind the 18 of Paul. And, we're talking about Chad Cole. He's sitting in 8th spot right now, but I think he's just riding. I mean, he can bring that car to the front at any time. So I think he's just saying, well, guys, if there's a big one, maybe I can avoid it back here. I don't think he's out of it. He's still in a good spot. He's still got the draft. So it's still anybody's ball game for that 6th spot.
It really is. Chad Cole flirting with that dangerous 7th spot there. But plenty of laps to go. Plenty of laps to go. 70 complete now. 18 to go, as a matter of fact. We're going to take our last commercial break, folks. We're going to go ahead and get it out of the way. Last time we took a commercial, we came back to a caution. So maybe Pedro can put that side-by-side thing up so you ain't going to miss nothing. As things are starting to come to a close, we'll go ahead and take it. Folks, we'll be back in just a few minutes. You're not going to miss anything here on Yellow Flag TV. You didn't miss a thing with the side-by-side live view from Pedro Mega, pushing every single button on that keyboard. I bet he goes through 2 or 3 keyboards a month, Joe.
Probably so.
Pushing all them buttons.
Gotta love it.
Well, you also gotta love this race out front. It's is it starting to heat up, or is it just me?
It is starting to heat up. Tensions are starting to build. We're at lap 73 here at Talladega, and the guy we've been watching along, Chad Cole, back there, I told you, he's hanging out. Look at him. He is hooked on the back of that draft. He gets up there a little bit. He can sneak into that 6th spot.
So now it's E.J. O'Rourke who's back there in the hot seat. And he is now going to flirt with the bottom, as there is a 3-car tandem on the high side. Laird about 2 car lengths off of Paul Nicholas Cooper, so that's not going to work out good. So Laird falls in line behind EJ's. Now J.D. Laird is the man out.
Yeah, it is right there. I'll tell you what, that back side there with Chad Cole is up front, though. I mean, they're still side by side. I'm just watching that 8 machine. He is holding on to the back bumper, that 63 of Cook, and trying everything he can to maybe try to sneak up there. The one thing he doesn't want to see, though, is another car dive on the inside. He wants to see it stay 2 or 3 up front, and he can get up there. But JD on the high side, I think that's him on the high side there with Tarascan.
Chad Coleman being shown 9 laps down. In the next few laps, if something doesn't happen and 2 drivers are taken out, Chad Coleman can go ahead and just park it. He'll be done. That'll be another one officially eliminated. But he's got about 2 more laps, Joe, to hang on.
Well, you got to give him credit where credit's due there. He has tried to stay out there. And, we know championship's all about consistency. It's not always about the wins. It's about, perseverance. And that's what he's tried to do, is stay out there to the end of this one. And it's just maybe right now, time's running out on him.
Time is definitely of the essence. As the to his back.
That's what I'm gonna him. Chad Cook does Cook. See the intense importance of this man is Cook a little bit
and basically. Back live here with the WCIparts.com 88 at Talladega, the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series Contender 10. Well, then there were 10. Now there are 6. We'll get to that in a minute. But, man, what a race. And Joe White has caught up with Chad Cole on pit road.
Chad, this is Joe White in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Joe.
Well, Chad, I tell you what, you played the game and played it right all night long here at Talladega Super Speedway. And next week, going to Michigan to vie for a championship to head maybe to Las Vegas there. How does it feel to come out of this one? Because we watched back there, you were on the bubble for most of it. What was your game plan there on those last several laps?
Just trying to survive until the white flag, really. I mean, was kind of lined up with Boris there. I was hoping maybe we could get something going, but he got kind of shuffled out on the back stretch. I think that was the 2 to go lap, and that's about when I wanted to go too, and I just kind of had to bail on him. It was just a race survival. Just drafting model isn't quite the greatest. You see a lot of wrecks from guys trying to bump draft, and even in the tri-oval and the straightaways, guys aren't quite lining up, and there ends up wrecks. So it's just trying to survive until the end. Some guys don't have the patience to make it there, so I'm just happy I got a third there.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely pulled off a masterful third place here tonight at Talladega. Hey, anybody out there you want to thank for it?
Yeah, I gotta thank Joe Gittini. He's the spotter in my ear, guided me home in that last one, and everyone else at Sim500 for everything they do, and also Yellow Flag TV here. Love the production you guys do. It's good TV. Really appreciate it.
Well, absolutely. I'll tell you what, man. Congratulations on that third place, because it was awesome. And guess what? You're going on in the chase here to Michigan next week. And hopefully in the Contender 6 series there, maybe hope to get to Las Vegas to be a champ.
I like it, Joe. Sounds good. Hopefully we'll see you in Vegas.
Sounds good. That's the third place man. Well, Mike, I'll tell you what, send it to you, because you have run down the second place man, Malik Ray.
6-time winner Malik Ray couldn't get it done at Talladega, but Malik Hey, I think you'll take a second here.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about second because I thought going into turn 3 that all of us were just gonna end up, wrecking each other.
Well, you were, of course, no stranger to the lead here tonight, racing at Dega, but you kind of played it safe a little bit throughout the race. You missed a few big wrecks. But, man, what a finish. Second place, and that's going to put you definitely in for next week at Michigan. So let's just go straight into Michigan. How is Malik Ray going to take Michigan, the Eliminator 6?
Just, practice a lot. Get, comfortable with the setup and stuff, and hopefully have a clean race. I'm hoping that it's going to be green, and that there aren't going to be, a bunch of cautions or anything.
Now, if we're jumping too far ahead, just stop me, Malik. Then, as a 6-time winner, the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series, I mean, I've already got you filled in. I've got 4 drivers at Vegas, and you're in, and on my list right here. So, if we get to Vegas, could we see you hoist that cup up?
I don't want to get that far ahead. I just like to take it one race at a time, and hopefully I'll do fine at Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. Last but not least, Blake, anybody you'd like to thank for tonight?
The admins for running this league, Kyle and Josh and everyone else that I work with in the race. It was fun, and I was happy to be a part of it.
No, it sucked.
We might get to EJ in a minute here, Joe, but all right, there you have it, folks. Malik Ray, the 6-time winner. I can't say it enough for the Monday Night Money Series. It's the WCIparts.com 88 Talladega tonight, and that winner is standing by with Mr. Joe White himself. Joe?
Absolutely. We're down here in Victory Lane. Popcorn flying, man, champagne, and we're a very happy crew down here. Kyle, it's Joe White up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I tell you what, last week we saw you at Darlington, or a couple weeks ago we saw you at Darlington there, trying to chase down that man, Malik Ray. Well, tonight you pulled it off here, and wow, what a finish. Now, we got to ask, we saw the 22 coming. Did you see him coming? And we saw the door-to-door incident there. Was that had to do? Because it looked like one of them Terminator moves out there, the Intimidator move that we'd see of the old days.
Yeah, I mean, I knew once they all wrecked behind me going into 3, and I saw Malik and Josh hook up together and they were tandeming, I knew they were going to get back to me, at least when we got – I thought it might even get there a little bit sooner, and they did. With the closing rate on this draft model, it's so incredibly fast. And then we got to the trial and I mean, that kind of ended a lot worse than I wanted to. I would much rather finish second to my teammate than wreck my teammate for sure with the 22. And I just wanted to kind of rub fenders with him, and I kind of just wanted to get him pinched up between the wall, and who knows, maybe Malik would get in there because we've been working great all season, and who knows, maybe have a 3-wide finish for the win. But it unfortunately didn't work out the way. I think there was a little bit of net code involved. The game was a little bit glitchy there. I don't think in real life that the 22 would have took off like that into the wall. But regardless, a win's a win. Swept the restrictor plate races this year. I love this restrictor plate racing. I wish it was a championship race. I know that'd be chaos, but all in all, it was a good race. Definitely very hectic at the end. All about survival the first half, and all in all, got the win. So that's good.
Well, I got to ask here because, Mike was down there talking to Malik, and he's already penciled him in to be a champ. Looking way forward past it. You're going to Michigan next week, though, to vie for an opportunity to get to Las Vegas to be a champion yourself. Now, we saw you was very strong at Darlington, obviously winning here tonight. Malik's very strong. It's got to be in the back of your mind. But think you got anything for that number 1 machine?
Yeah, I mean, Malik said it best in his interview. Just take it one race at a time. If I had it my way, races would be swapped with Michigan and Las Vegas. I think Michigan's one of my best tracks on the sim. Las Vegas, not so much. I kind of had some up and down luck years at that track. It all depends on the setup and how it adapts to my driving style and vice versa. But we'll see. I get through Michigan next week. Next Monday's a whole new ball game. Obviously, I'd love to be racing for a championship. Just to be one of the 4 after racing for 20 races at point, definitely be a huge honor. And just take it one race at a time, like we said, and If we make it to Vegas, we'll make it, and then when we get there, we'll race our heart out and hope for the best.
Well, absolutely. Well, you definitely got a happy crew there tonight because you're the winner here at Talladega Super Speedway with the Sim500. Got anybody out there you want to thank for it?
Just want to thank everyone at Yellow Flag TV for the production. Everyone at Sim500. I know we worked very hard on this to get this league off the ground running, and it seems like we've gotten that far. And definitely a big shout out to everyone at the Mets Driver Development Program with the ATQMRA. We got my first top 5 finish this Saturday night at Wall Stadium, and that was a really huge deal for me. And just want to give all those guys a shout out for all the hard work we do in the TQ.
Absolutely. Again, congratulations here. Kyle Taraska bringing the number 3 Intimidator machine home tonight at Talladega. Again, awesome finish, and you're going on to the round number 3 here, the 6th Eliminator at Michigan next week. I'm going to throw it back to you, Mike.
Also, you want to point out Joshua Williams, who finished tonight's race in 5th spot, led the most laps, 24, and turned the fastest lap, and in fact the only one to turn a 48.138, and the next fastest was a 2.61. So congratulations to Joshua. He'll move on, by the way, to Michigan next week. And here it is, folks. Malik Ray, we'll see you at Michigan. Kyle Taraska, see you at Michigan. Larry Pace, see you. J.D. Laird, see you at Michigan. Chad Cole, we'll see you there. Joshua Williams, put your coat on. It's going to be cold. We'll see you in Michigan. Folks, for us, Joe White, Pedro Omega, and maybe next time E.J. O'Rourke, we'll see you next Monday night in Michigan.
Start your engine!